Basketball icon Caitlin Clark has been honored as Time magazine's Athlete of the Year for 2024, attributable to her significant influence on the sport, particularly through her role as the Women's National Basketball Association (WNBA) Rookie of the Year. Even without participating in the U.S. Olympic team during a year that featured the Olympic Games, the Caitlin Clark effect was irrefutable. Beyond her notable achievements on the court, where she set collegiate scoring records before being selected first overall by the Indiana Fever, Clark's impact off the court has been equally substantial. Her concluding college game, a championship match between the University of Iowa and the University of South Carolina, shattered U.S. television viewership records for a women's sporting event outside of the Olympics. Games broadcasted featuring the Fever also established WNBA viewership records, and overall attendance across the league increased by 48% compared to 2023. Among the 35 WNBA games this season that drew the largest crowds, Clark and the Fever participated in 31. I have been able to engage numerous individuals who had never previously watched women's sports, let alone women's basketball, and transform them into fans, Clark stated in her interview with Time. People are genuinely invested in the game, they have a passion for it, and that is what makes it enjoyable for me. These individuals aren't supporting women's sports merely to fulfill a requirement. This will become the new norm. Her triumphs have also led to off-court controversies, at times marked by racism or misogyny, involving those claiming to be her supporters or protectors. In response to the online vitriol targeted at other WNBA players, Clark remarked, "Just stop the harassment, because that's not who I am." Clark was omitted from the U.S. women's basketball national team roster for the Paris 2024 Olympics following a season's first half where her Fever team recorded a 3-9 record. Missing the games, where the U.S. narrowly clinched gold against host nation France in the final, will undoubtedly fuel my motivation throughout my career, stated Clark. Thus, attention turns to the Los Angeles 2028 Games, as securing a place on that Olympic team is a significant goal for Clark, a goal that would be particularly gratifying on home turf. WNBA free agency is currently active, placing the Indiana Fever in a strategic position to execute pivotal moves. This negotiation period, occurring from January 21 to 31, represents the second phase of free agency. All teams extended qualifying offers, Indiana included, having issued a core offer to Kelsey Mitchell during the window from January 11 to 20. The final phase of free agency will commence on February 1, at which point free agents may officially sign with teams. Indiana presents an attractive option for numerous athletes. With Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, the Fever have emerged as a competitive team, making their first playoff appearance in 7 years last season. Indiana is also in the process of developing a new $78 million practice facility, slated to open in 2027. The Fever, led by experienced coach Stephanie White, are well positioned to elevate themselves among the premier teams in the league. Overview of the Indiana Fever's current players and cap space. This document presents an overview of the players currently signed with the Fever, Indiana's available cap space, and the potential impacts of their remaining funds. The remaining cap space amounts to $408,495 for 2 roster spots, contingent on Mitchell accepting her core qualifying offer, which positions the team favorably in free agency. There are several strategies the Fever may employ to enhance their cap space. These include the potential waiving of players on unprotected contracts without incurring any penalties, executing trades, or negotiating contract separations with players under protected salaries. Despite the existing cap space, Indiana retains the ability to pursue a notable free agent in the market this offseason, such as power forward Sato Sabally. Currently, Dallas has designated Sabally as a core player. However, she has indicated to the Wings her intention not to return, and both parties are in discussions to facilitate her transition to a new team. It is important to note that the core designation does not transfer with Sabally upon her departure from the Wings, yet it is anticipated that she will seek a maximum salary of $214,466. Multiple teams are likely to compete for her services. Should the Fever be unsuccessful in acquiring Sabally, they still possess the cap flexibility to sign another high-profile player, such as forward Natasha Howard or Brianna Jones. If Indiana successfully signs Sibley or another elite free agent with a maximum salary expectation, they would still have $194,129 available for an additional roster position. This would provide a substantial salary for a competent free agent who could enhance the Fever's starting lineup or perhaps allow for the acquisition of two players that would serve as valuable additions to the rotation. Caitlin Clark's remarkable birthday achievement. While many individuals take time off work on their birthdays, whether to recover from celebrations or simply to relax, Caitlin Clark defies this norm. To commemorate her 23rd birthday, Clark achieved an impressive feat by attempting an extraordinary 50 out of 54 three-point shots, all of which was documented by the Indiana Fever's social media team. What is particularly astonishing is that she accomplished this in under 3 minutes, attempting approximately 19 shots per minute. As one user on X remarked, "We need Steph Curry versus Caitlin Clark in a three-point contest." In addition to her shooting accomplishments, Clark celebrated her birthday by contributing 22,000 books to students in Iowa and Indiana. Fans are well aware that high-volume three-point shooting is a hallmark of the former Iowa Hawkeye star's skill set. During her senior year at Iowa, she set a record for the highest number of three-pointers made in a single season by any Division I player, male or female, concluding the season with a total of 201. In July 2023, Clark shared insights into her off-season training routine, which included 100 three-point shots, 100 free throws, and 100 mid-range shots. Her cumulative performance from this specific workout yielded 233 successful shots out of 300 attempts. Furthermore, ESPN's Chris Russo rendered an apology to Caitlin Clark after questioning her support for the Kansas City Chiefs, conceding that he should refrain from picking on her. The WNBA athlete garnered significant attention over the past weekend when she was spotted alongside global music sensation Taylor Swift during the matchup between the Chiefs and the Houston Texans. The Indiana Fever point guard and the Love Story vocalist have recently formed a friendship, which culminated in their enthusiastic support for Swift's partner, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, as he contributed to his team's crucial victory. Nonetheless, this seemingly innocuous event elicited criticism directed at Clark regarding her presence at Arrowhead Stadium. Among the detractors was the vociferous Mad Dog, who expressed his discontent with the 22-year-old during his SiriusXM radio program, questioning her allegiance to the three-time Super Bowl champions. "I observed Caitlin Clark participate in approximately 50 college basketball games over the last 2 years. Not once did I hear any indication of her being a Chiefs fan. I never witnessed her father wearing a Chiefs jersey," remarked Russo, who is also a presenter on ESPN's First Take. "I never saw Clark donning a Chiefs hat. In those 50 games, there was not a single reference to her being a Chiefs supporter, and now suddenly she is a devoted Kansas City fan. Please, spare me." However, on Tuesday, Russo appeared on sports analyst Dan Patrick's show, where he was corrected by the host, who informed him that Clark indeed supports the Chiefs. The 65-year-old remarked, "I am done with the Chiefs, Dan. I am done with the Chiefs. And now it appears Caitlin Clark is a Chiefs supporter? I was unaware that Clark was a fan." "Really? She is a Chiefs enthusiast. Does she know about Super Bowl I?" He then queried, with an air of condescension, "Is she familiar with the Miami-Kansas City double overtime game, ending 27-24, which is among the iconic games in NFL history?" The program later presented a photograph of a young Clark wearing a Chiefs jersey, prompting Patrick to ask Russo if he wished to apologize to Clark. I suppose. I ought not to be criticizing Caitlin Clark. I am done with the Chiefs," Russo acknowledged. There is no respite for Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Even on her 23rd birthday on Wednesday, the former Iowa Hawkeyes athlete visited the gym to enhance her shooting capabilities. Judging by her performance, it appears that the WNBA offseason has not dulled her skills, as she effortlessly converted 50 of 54 attempts from the three-point range. This remarkable exhibition of shooting talent was documented in a video shared by the Fever's official Instagram account, which naturally attracted significant attention from fans online. Even the NBA Eastern Conference team, the Indiana Pacers, commented on the post, describing Clark as different. This is not the first instance of Clark captivating audiences with her exceptional long-range shooting. Throughout the 2024 WNBA season, Clark led the league with 122 three-pointers, achieving a success rate of 34.4%. Back in her collegiate years, Clark consistently impressed adversaries with her proficiency in three-point shooting. Throughout her four-year tenure with the Hawkeyes, Clark achieved a 37.7% success rate on her three-point attempts, ultimately securing her position as the all-time leading scorer in NCAA Division I history. The Pacers are presently performing admirably from beyond the arc in the regular season of the 2024-25 NBA, with Indiana converting 37.3% of their three-point efforts, which ranks them 7th overall in the league. Indiana Fever guard Erica Wheeler has recently alluded to uncertainty regarding her future with the franchise as she approaches WNBA free agency. Through a lighthearted post on social media, Wheeler implied that she might consider new ventures, prompting speculation about her next steps following a decade in the league. Wheeler has incited conjecture concerning her status with the team by suggesting a possible exit in free agency. In a recent social media update, she playfully expressed her contemplation of options, which could potentially create a significant void in the team's lineup as they gear up for the forthcoming WNBA season. This announcement follows a season where she played an instrumental role in Indiana's qualification for the playoffs for the first time since 2016. As an experienced veteran, her leadership and expertise have proven invaluable, particularly to All-Star Caitlin Clark, who has previously commended Wheeler for her support and mentorship during her adaptation to the WNBA, underscoring Wheeler's influence on her growth. Indiana is on the cusp of a new chapter under the guidance of head coach Stephanie White, who aspires to build upon the team's recent achievements. With Clark rising as a pivotal player and potential cornerstone for the franchise, strategic decisions will be necessary this offseason to sustain their momentum. Wheeler's exit could pave the way for new talent, however, it would also entail the loss of an established figure who has significantly shaped the team's culture. Wheeler has suggested her intent to leave Indiana in search of a new team during this year's free agency, a notion that has been reflected in a post shared by Clark Report on X. As Indiana navigates free agency, a meticulous evaluation of their roster will be imperative. Retaining players like Clark while possibly incorporating new talent will be crucial for the team's ambitions to emerge as a championship contender. With the commencement of the WNBA free agency period approaching, the organization's front office must execute decisive actions promptly. Supporters are keenly anticipating how the team will address these transitions and the implications for their prospects in the forthcoming season. Caitlin Clark, the prominent player for the Indiana Fever, celebrated her 23rd birthday on Wednesday, receiving considerable commendation from NBA star Tyrese Halliburton of the Indiana Pacers. As the Fever gears up for the impending WNBA season, there are elevated expectations following Clark's Rookie of the Year achievement last season, which saw the team qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 2016. Under the guidance of new head coach Stephanie White and with an enhancing team cohesion, Clark aspires to advance her performance alongside fellow talents Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. Halliburton underscored Clark's significant influence in basketball, affirming her dual capacity as both a companion and an exceptional athlete. Both athletes are crucial to influencing Indiana's basketball landscape.